Wrapped up what he called his D.C. to DQ town hall meeting tour with constituents. Some happy to see him, others obviously not so much. Joining me now, District 23 Councilman Will Hurd, and actually pretty smart holding it at DQs because it's kind of like a Texas stop sign. Who's not going to come out when the weather's like this to have ice cream, you know?
And who doesn't like a cool treat on a hot day?
Right, right. What was really the biggest single topic that people would ask you about?
I think there was two that came up almost at every single stop. There was 27 stops in 7 days from El Paso to San Antonio. It was border security in North Korea. I've been talking about border security a lot. I have more border than any member of Congress, 820 miles. And building a wall from sea to shining sea is the most expensive and least effective way to do border security. It's 2017. We should be able to use technology and manpower in order to secure our border.
Do you think a virtual wall, and that's what you've been, an electronic virtual wall is really what you're pushing for, and you have some background with that, with your CIA background and everything. Is it realistic, though, that it could be effective? Because we have electronic means down there now, and people are still running across, carrying drugs and whatever else across.
Well, I like to call it the smart wall, and it's 2017. Technology is different. In a lot of places, the technology that we have along the border, it's 20 years old. In a place like El Paso sector, the border is broken up into sectors. 300 miles, only 60 miles of persistent technology, and that technology is 20 years old. The sensor technology that exists today is so inexpensive, it's almost disposable, and we can detect a bunny rabbit from a person, track a threat with a drone until we're able to deploy our most important resource, the Border Patrol. And all the data that sensor is collecting should be beamed to our men and women in Border Patrol. This is not some Star Trek, scenario that I'm describing. It's something that can be done today. And right now, many of the men and women in our Border Patrol, their cell phones don't work along the border, and their push-to-talk radios don't work because they don't have the infrastructure down there. That's the kind of things that we need to change.
The problem is not necessarily with illegal immigration. Everybody points at this as an Hispanic illegal immigration issue. The issue, as I see it down there, is we don't know who, what nationality, or what the intentions are with someone illegally crossing that border.
There's 19 criminal organizations that are operating south of our border, and the kingpin human smugglers and the drug trafficking organizations, they don't have fights in Congress on their budget, right? They're better resourced. They have more tools and capabilities than our men and women in Border Patrol, and we need to have operational control to understand who is coming back and forth.
Instead of a material wall, we know it's going to take years and hundreds of millions of dollars to build a material wall.
Billions of dollars.
Billions. An electronic wall, how long does it take and how much money are you looking at?
You can do it in a year. It's right now, based on the administration's numbers, a concrete structure is $24.5 million a mile. A smart wall, $500,000 a mile. That's a difference of $24 million per mile. There's 2,000 miles of the border. There's 1,350 miles that doesn't have some kind of physical barrier. So that if you do the math, it's $33 billion for a concrete structure versus $675 million for a smart wall, which is a difference of $32 billion. You and I can come up with a whole lot of better ideas on how to spend that money.
And I've been on the Arizona-New Mexico border. It's a strand of barbed wire or nothing, too. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about health care reform and also the situation going on in North Korea with District 23 Congressman Will Hurd.